Southwest Florida's #1 primetime newscast. Fox 4 News at 10.
Breaking his silence. Four in Your Corner giving you a live look now inside Congressman Trey Radle's district office in Cape Coral, where in less than 30 minutes he's expected to address the media for the first time since pleading guilty to cocaine possession. Now here's a quick breakdown of the details for you. Radle was busted with cocaine on October 29th outside a restaurant in Washington, D.C. According to prosecutors, Radle bought 3.5 grams of the drug from an undercover officer for $260. After the officers revealed themselves, Radle reportedly took them back to his apartment where he handed over another vial of cocaine. In court today, the congressman was sentenced to 1 year's probation and a small fine. He also told the judge that he's hit bottom and he needs help. The congressman leaving that courtroom in Washington, D.C. this morning, walking straight into a waiting SUV. He later caught a flight into Southwest Florida and is currently en route to his Cape Coral office, where he plans to address the public again live at 10:30. Four in Your Corner bringing you team coverage of this scheduled news conference tonight. Our Patrick Nolan live in Cape Coral waiting for the congressman's arrival there. Patrick.
And we are confirming the congressman's plane just landed a short while ago. He's on a commercial flight, an AirTran flight that came from the Baltimore, D.C. area to Southwest Florida International Airport. He came along the jetway like most passengers would on a commercial flight, and as soon as he encountered some reporters who were waiting for him there, he turned around and went back on the plane. So similar to behavior to what we saw in the courthouse today, not speaking to reporters. Our understanding now is that they're trying to arrange for a car to pick him up on the tarmac so he can avoid passing through that media, so to speak, as he comes here to face the media. Perhaps the congressman assuming that this was the only place he was going to answer questions. I want to set the scene for you here at his Cape Coral office. Just take a look at the number of live trucks, lights. You can hear the buzz of generators from all the equipment that's set up. This is certainly the most action a congressional office has ever seen in Southwest Florida in all the time I've been here. And when the congressman arrives, it's going to be the end of a very long day. He was in court this morning in D.C. just 12 hours ago, appearing before the judge, as you heard. Now, the congressman is expected to answer questions, and there are a lot waiting for him tonight. He has said very little other than a written statement last night saying that he's very sorry that he let down his constituents, his wife and his child. There's speculation as to whether his wife, Amy Wegman, a former Fox 4 News anchor, will accompany him to this press conference. But we do know this. Chances are it is not going to start at 10:30 as they originally said, because the drive from Southwest Florida to this office in Cape Coral, it's at Nicholas and Country Club, is at least 40 minutes. And as we understand it right now, he still has not been picked up from the tarmac. We'll keep you posted throughout the newscast. Reporting live from Cape Coral, Patrick Nolan, Fox 4 in your corner.
All right, thank you, Patrick. First-time offender or desperate addict. As new details emerge about Congressman Radle's cocaine charges, it's raising big questions about his behavior the night he was busted. Four in Your Corner's Dave Colbreth talking with an addiction specialist who says Radle's actions, Dave, that night raised big red flags.
Here's how this went down. Radle drove up to a restaurant, gave an undercover cop $260 and got his cocaine. The officer immediately identified himself, then went to Radle's apartment where Radle gave him more cocaine. The U.S. attorney said in court today that Radle bought cocaine several times during this sting operation. Tonight, I ran all this past an addiction expert for his opinions.
The craving sometimes can be very powerful, and it draws you out to places that you typically wouldn't be unless you were under the influence of some type of mind-altering substance.
What about the fact that it was outside of a restaurant on a street in D.C.?
That doesn't surprise me. Very common. My guess is that this has been a pattern of behavior that's probably been going on for some time.
It was a small amount, a misdemeanor amount, 3.5 grams, or an 8-ball as they call it. What does that tell you?
Management, managing the quantities that he has on him in case there was a situation.
A situation, meaning if he got caught, the more you get caught with, the worse the charge.
Yeah, absolutely. The quantity is typical of someone who may not necessarily be using every day, but maybe using more frequently than once a week.
And what about the fact that Radle had more coke in his apartment?
He may have has stashes that he may not even remember, especially if he was under the influence. Maybe he was using alcohol and cocaine at the same time. It's very possible that there was something that he hid that he may not even remember where he hid it.
He's come out with a statement. He says he has a problem. Is it because he got caught in your experience? I mean, do you think he would have done that had he not gotten caught?
I don't think it's specific to him. I think that if you look at the reason most people seek professional help, it's because they've experienced a consequence based on their using.
Radel got 6 months probation, pays a $250 fine, and gets all this wiped off his record if he stays clean for those 6 months. The U.S. Attorney says it's the way they do hundreds of cases every year in D.C. for first-time offenders caught with small amounts of cocaine. Live, Dave Culberth, Fox 4 in your corner.
All right, thank you, Dave. News of Congressman Radel's legal trouble getting reaction from leadership in Florida today. Republican Party of Florida Chairman Lenny Curry issuing a statement, saying, "I'm deeply disappointed in Congressman Radel's choices. I am glad he is seeking help." And 25th District Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart saying, "I'm both shocked and saddened to hear the news about my friend and colleague, Congressman Trey Radel. Every person must take responsibility for their own actions, as Trey will. My thoughts and prayers are with his wife, Amy, and his son, Jude." And tonight we're hearing from some of the key people who supported Radel during his campaign. According to the Federal Election Commission, he's received nearly $280,000 in donations just in 2013. Many of those donors saying they're disappointed, but they're not ready to give up on Trey.
He's still that same person. Yeah, he stumbled. It happens. But he's still the same person who wanted to go up there and make things right for the citizens of Southwest Florida, and that's not going to change.
Some supporters even telling us they'd be more disappointed if the congressman decided to step down. Now, behind the man is a family. In the congressman's statement yesterday, he mentions his family 4 times, noting that he needs to get better for them. His wife and son noticeably absent from this morning's arraignment in D.C., and it's raising big questions, as you heard Patrick say earlier, as to whether they will stand by his side this evening. 4 in your corner's Kelly Stegeman taking us back to a time when the Radels were just getting adjusted in Washington.
We say 1, 2.
8 months ago, raising a family in Washington, D.C. with a congressman, Amy Wegman pushed for normalcy.
You are a normal family.
Yeah, absolutely. We're totally normal. I love to cook, we hang out, we watch movies, we like to do normal things.
How important is it to have that normalcy in Jude's life and Trey's life and yours life?
It's so important.
I sat down with Amy as she gave me insight just a few months into her new life, supporting her husband in the nation's capital.
You know, we go to the Capitol, often to go see Trey. We'll have lunch together because otherwise I won't see him. Trey's working 7 in the morning till sometimes 10, 11 at night.
Her family time was precious time, spent trying to find a balance in such a demanding position.
Sundays are family days, no matter what. We don't schedule any events, no political events. That's our family day. We hang out, we go to the beach. If we're in DC, we go check out the museums or just sometimes order Chinese food, lay on the couch and watch a movie, We have to do that.
Those normal Sundays mixed in with unforgettable memories she hoped to give to their 2-year-old son, Jude.
What is it like being able to give those moments to your son? He may not be old enough to remember it, but it's special.
I want him to look at this video when he's older and say, wow, I was part of that. I was part of something bigger.
Kelly Stegeman, Fox 4, in your corner.
All right, so once again, much speculation as to whether Amy will be present at tonight's press conference. That is yet to be seen. Within this hour, the congressman will address the media live for the first time since his bust. Keep it here on Fox 4. We're going to have live coverage from start to end as that conference gets underway. In the meantime, we still want your thoughts on a big question tonight. Do you think Congressman Radel should resign from office given the charge? Call or text us 206-FOX4 or leave us a comment at facebook.com/Fox4Now. And as always, you can get all the very latest news updates, including the latest on Congressman Radel, when you go to our website, fox4now.com.
Quick check of your weather right here on Fox 4 using the power of 4 to track a little bit of rain off the east coast of Florida, southwest Florida. Dry right now, but we think we're going to have some of those showers coming back for us again tomorrow afternoon. Very warm for this time of year, even at about 10 in the evening. 72 in LaBelle, 70 in Cape Coral, 74 in Bonita Springs. We have a strong cool front that's moving down towards southwest Florida. It's going to change our weather, but until that happens, it's kind of summertime light with the humidity being very reminiscent of late May or early June. Weekend changes and some holiday changes too in our forecast, all on the way.
All new at 10, a man rushed to the hospital after an apparent stabbing. Deputies in Lee County tell us it happened around 8 o'clock near Fairweather Lane on Fort Myers Beach. We're told a man was taken to the hospital with unknown injuries. Deputies still looking for a female suspect tonight. If you have any information, please call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-780-TIPS. Florida Highway Patrol investigating a deadly accident tonight. We're told a pedestrian was struck and killed by a car on Palm Beach Boulevard and Royal Park Road in Fort Myers about 6:30 this evening. No word on any charges filed or the identity of that pedestrian. Again, we'll bring you any updates just as soon as we get them. New information tonight as the driver of a fiery crash on Fort Myers Beach over the weekend has died due to his injuries. 23-year-old James Lepore was driving 3 friends when he crashed into a concrete wall on Estero Boulevard. His SUV bursting into flames, trapping all 4 people inside. 3 of the passengers were hospitalized directly after that crash. No word on their condition. The crash still under investigation, but alcohol is believed to have played a role. In tonight's Crime Tracker, a police impersonator may be patrolling the streets of Southwest Florida looking to pull you over. 4 in Your Corner's Katie Jones showing you what to look out for.
It's late at night, the roads are dark, and someone comes speeding up behind you.
You can see where that could potentially be, not only very dangerous, but potentially life-threatening.
And it was that sense of danger that Sergeant Dana Costin says a driver felt on November 12th heading south on Skyline.
The subject flashed his high beams at the car and ordered the car to pull over using a public address system.
The driver pulled over for the newer model Chevy SUV that didn't have any emergency lights or sirens. According to reports, a Hispanic male about 25 years old, 5'10", wearing a black polo and pants with a police-style utility belt, approached him.
When the driver asked him for his badge, he said, "Good night, have a good day," got back in his vehicle and drove off.
Luckily, Sergeant Costin says this situation ended safely, but could have been a completely different story. So if you're out on the roads, think you're being pulled over, but are a bit suspicious, police say there are some things you can do to protect yourself.
Proceed to the nearest point of safety, whether that is a parking lot or a storefront, someplace that's wide open, well lit.
Sergeant Costin says you can also call police to make sure whoever's pulling you over is legit, and most importantly, report any uncertainties.
Our number one concern is if we had a law enforcement impersonator where you may have somebody who is depriving somebody of their freedom of movement and making a false arrest.
Katie Jones, Fox 4, in your corner.
All right, once again, if you have any information, remember you never have to give your name. You could earn a cash reward when you call Crime Stoppers, 1-800-780-TIPS. Still to come tonight, what you have to say about the bombshell drug bust that could cost Congressman Trey Radel his job. Plus, think you're shopping in private? Think again. They may be watching you. The controversial new technology some stores are using to tap into your smartphone as you shop. And we are giving you another live look at Congressman Trey Radel's Cape Coral office, where he plans to address the media live within the hour. The very latest for you coming up next. Creative or invasive? Controversial new technology enables retail stores to collect information about you while you're shopping, and they're doing it by tracking your smartphone. You might be surprised just how much they can find out. 4 in Your Corner's Christy Diamond finding out which stores are doing it and why it's raising big concerns about your privacy.
While you're looking for deals, they're looking at you.
I had no idea. Now I feel like I'm worried. I'm being tracked.
Oh, you're being tracked, all right. Stores tap into the Wi-Fi signal on your smartphone, giving them the power to watch your every move as you browse.
I just feel like, why do they need to know exactly where you're at?
That's an easy answer. Figuring you out helps them figure out the best way to get you to buy.
As a consumer, that profile is valuable. If I have to spend less money to convince you to buy my product, I can then have more money to convince more people to buy my product.
I asked Southwest Florida marketing guru Chris Spiro just how deep these stores can dig.
Let's say I walk into a store, have my Wi-Fi on. How much do they really know about me from the moment I step foot in that store?
A lot. What time you got up, what time you started using that phone, where you came from. Did you go directly to my store, or did you go to my competitor's store? Did you come in specifically to go look at housewares, or did you come in specifically to look at furniture, or did you just happen to stumble upon it and get interested in it?
Here's how it works. Stores install a tracking system that detects your smartphone as you move around the store. Then an outside company like this one called Euclid Analytics will collect the data, analyze it, and send reports back to the retailer about their customer shopping behavior. But this tech expert tells me it's not total Big Brother just yet.
It's only tied to a hardware ID on your phone. So it's not like they're pulling, your name and they're saying, oh, David walked through this section of the store. It's really just this piece of hardware moved through at this time and did these sort of things.
So in other words, even though the technology can't really recognize you yet, it can remember your phone, allowing stores to collect stellar statistics.
This many regular customers that are coming back every month. We've seen this person, 15 times in the last week. Maybe, what sections they're staying in. So that could be useful to marketers, that sort of thing.
Sure, it may be useful to them, but what about you?
It definitely is an invasion of a person's feeling of privacy, that's for sure.
Ave Maria School of Law professor Mark Bonner tells me what bothers him most is that it's happening without his or your permission.
I prefer an opt-in, that if they want to do this recording, they ask you about it first rather than just doing it to you. I think it treats people more like human beings rather than commodities.
But some human beings are just fine believing what they don't know won't hurt them, even taking a little pride in all this high-tech attention.
Then that means that I must be a pretty amazing customer for them to want to track me.
Others wonder where this is all going now that a trip to the store is so much more.
It's kind of, they know where you are all the time. That's a little concerning because, sometimes you do want your privacy.
All right, coming up in a Fox 4 special report, it's a questions a lot of moms with single friends ask themselves. What would happen if they had to live my life for a day? And that had me thinking. Patrick and I as co-anchors here at Fox 4 bringing you the news every evening. But as a single, carefree guy and a busy mom of 2 young kids, what would happen if we were to switch lives for a day?
I think you're good. Would you say you feel fresh and clean, or what would you? Okay.
You have puke on the shirt.
I sure do, and pretty much everywhere else on me.
It is a crazy, hilarious, must-see story when the single guy and mom of 2 switch lives for a day. That's coming up tomorrow night at 10 o'clock.
Storm Patrol Viper right now showing us that we're dry, although there is a little bit of rain deep inland in Collier County. Some showers about 30-40 miles from Everglades City. But tomorrow I think we're going to have a few more showers. Check that. Here's one that's just developed about 15 miles to the south of Everglades City. Obviously the atmosphere very warm right now, very unstable. Our temperatures are going to continue to be about 5, 6, even 7 degrees above normal for the next few days. 69 degrees first thing tomorrow morning with some patchy fog. Mainly dry at noon, but in the afternoon we're going to have some scattered showers developing. Let's take a look at the computer models and show you that there's going to be very little change over the next few days. Easterly wind bringing in some moisture from the east coast of Florida and close to southwest Florida, right on the beaches. Going to have a little bit of a sea breeze. So in the afternoon, some scattered showers on our side of the state, not only tomorrow, but Friday too. Saturday, though, we start to see a change. A cool front is going to be approaching, and that cool front should be here late Saturday. There it is, right there. That's going to be the changer for us as we get to the weekend. So here's your Power of 4 zone forecast. Starting with the inland zones, 84 to 87 degrees. Patchy fog in the morning, then scattered showers in the afternoon for LaBelle, Palmdale, Lakeport, Lehigh, Arcadia. In the harbor zones, we'll be anywhere from 83 to 85 degrees. Partly cloudy skies, just isolated showers in the afternoon for Northport, Port Charlotte, and Punta Gorda. Coastal zones, 84 to 86, very warm for this time of year. Partly cloudy with some afternoon showers for Cape Coral, Estero, and Bonita Springs. Beaches, the showers should be a little more isolated, partly sunny skies. They're going to hold off till the later afternoon on the beaches, 80 to 83 on the beaches tomorrow. Forecast for the boaters calling for an east to northeasterly wind, but it will become onshore right along the coast, seas around 2 feet, and a light chop on the bay and in the waters. Scattered showers mainly in the afternoon Thursday and Friday. Most of them will be on the lighter side. Then a stray shower possible on Saturday, but then Saturday night that cold front moves through, and behind it, it gets windy and it gets cooler. Partly cloudy and windy with a high in the mid-80s, and then those mornings getting back down into the 50s by Monday. However, by late Wednesday, day before Thanksgiving, looks like some showers coming into the forecast. What are you thankful for in the month of November? Well, Ramon Dominguez is thankful for Elvis Fest, which they have every June here in Southwest Florida. So he sent that picture to iContribute at fox4now.com, brought to you by Opta Express.
and some great costumes. All right, we want to take a minute to announce the winner of $100 worth of free groceries tonight. Congratulations, Terry Bowles of Cape Coral. Remember, you can register to win your $100 of free groceries when you go to fox4now.com and then find out if you win tomorrow morning when you watch Fox 4 Rising from 5 to 8 a.m. Remember, when you enter, you also become eligible to win groceries for a year. Still to come, Congressman Radel heading to rehab in Southwest Florida, what his treatment will likely consist of. And social media is abuzz over the cocaine controversy, how Southwest Florida's congressman has been thrust into the national limelight. And once again, giving you a live look now outside Congressman Trey Radel's Cape Coral office, waiting for him to address the media for the first time regarding his drug charges. We have got a live report for you coming up next. The internet and social media are blowing up with the news of Congressman Trey Radel's cocaine bust. So is it just a sign of the technological times, or is there more to it? Four Corner's Gabrielle Saran takes a closer look.
The name Trey Radel, the drug cocaine, his title, Congressman, seem to be everywhere, in Southwest Florida and across the World Wide Web. The quick entry of his name in Google shows nearly 120 million results.
That's remarkable. It's hard to explain that kind of a level of interest.
And it's insatiable, according to the Pew Research Center, a think tank in Washington with no political affiliation.
Many of these stories are almost firewood. They're just thrown into the furnace. They burn up quickly.
But this furnace keeps burning, from traditional news groups covering Radel like the Washington Post to more boutique ones like the Daily Beast, which calls Radel the Tea Party's cocaine congressman. And after the freshman Republican admitted to substance abuse, even a Canadian paper picked up the story.
This is a classic example of a story that, at least at this particular moment, sort of feeds the beast.
And Radel's voting record doesn't help. 2 months ago, he backed legislation to have food stamp recipients drug tested, even though he admitted in federal court Wednesday to using cocaine.
We were typically sort of used to that with, maybe the Hollywood celebrity culture, but we're not used to it yet with the Washington, D.C. celebrity culture.
Gabrielle Saran, Fox 4, in your corner.
All right, what do you think about all of the attention surrounding Radel's drug charges? Sound off right now when you go to facebook.com/Fox4Now. Once again, we are giving you a live look here in Cape Coral, where we are waiting for Congressman Trey Radel to speak for the first time about his guilty plea on cocaine charges. This is the podium where he will speak. A live report for you coming up next.
Now, Southwest Florida's #1 primetime newscast, Fox 4 News at 10.
We continue our coverage now of Congressman Trey Radel after he pleads guilty to cocaine charges. We have crews on scene right now at Representative Radel's office in Cape Coral, where he is expected to address the media at any moment now. We turn things over to our Patrick Nolan, who is live at the conference, obviously waiting for things to get underway there any moment. Patrick, what's the feel out there?
Well, the congressman's original plan was to start this press conference at 10:30, so right now the feeling here is really expectation. I'll just show you one of his congressional aides waiting in the wings here. Presumably this is where the congressman will walk into the office, which he has used as his regular business office for the past year now. Probably the most important political moment of his life about to happen here any minute now. As soon as he arrives, we will take you back to that breezeway and show you as he walks in. You will not miss a word of what he says, because we will carry his entire comments live, including Four in Your Corner's questions on your behalf, his constituents. He just arrived at Southwest Florida International Airport just about 30 minutes ago or so, and we do have video of him coming down the jetway. Initially, he came down, saw some of the reporters and photographers waiting for him, and then turned around and went back on the plane. Really unusual behavior for Congressman Radel, who's always been so accessible to the media. Then he eventually came back, walked right by some of those reporters and some of the photographers, and eventually came all the way through. So he just said, I'll talk to you all when I arrive at the office. Stand by for me then, and we will keep you posted. All right, a live look now as the congressman comes in, shaking hands with one of his congressional aides. You're seeing it here on Fox 4 Live. Congressman Trey Radel returning to his office. He is by himself, only his congressional aides with him right now. There had been some speculation that his wife, very well known in the community, former Fox 4 news anchor Amy Wegman, may be by his side. That is not the case here tonight. Once again, Congressman Radel, who was facing charges in front of a judge this morning, and we have got video of that scene just 12 hours ago. He was in a Washington, D.C. courtroom facing a federal judge admitting that he bought cocaine from an undercover officer.
All right, Patrick's audio is coming in and out. Once again, you just saw Congressman Trey Radel walking into his office, getting ready to address the media. We are going to go back to Trey now. It sounds like he's getting ready to speak.
I'm sorry. I have no excuse for what I've done. And I'm not going to sit here and try and make any excuses for what I've done. I've let down our country. I've let down our constituents. I've let down my family, including my wife. And even though he doesn't know it, I've let down my 2-year-old son. I'm here tonight to take responsibility for what I did, to be held accountable for the bad decisions that I made in my life, and to own up to my actions. I have been getting the help that I need, and I will continue to get the help that I need and the support system that I need for years to come. I'm doing so because I want to be a better man. I want to be a better man for you. I want to be a better man for Southwest Florida. And most importantly, I want to be a better man for my family, my dad, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my wife, and my little guy. I will be taking a leave of absence. During that time, I'm going to donate my salary to a charity. I believe in faith. I believe in forgiveness and redemption. And I hope if there's anything positive that can come out of this, and I know there will be positive that comes out of this, it's that I hope that I can be a role model for millions of others that are struggling with this disease. I would ask for your prayers. And I don't ask for prayers for me. I ask for your prayers for my family. That's what's most important. It's what I'm focused on. My recovery, my health, and my family. On a very personal note, I feel like I've grown up really in the public eye here in Southwest Florida. From my time of working as a reporter, building up a business, hosting a radio show, and following the terrible and tragic death of my mother. I remember it like yesterday. There was a group of people that came up to me, and they were giving their condolences. And they said, "Trey, we are so sorry to hear about the passing of your mother and the terrible situation around it. But you've been with us for so long, we want you to know that we're here for you. You are Southwest Florida's adopted son." And that is something that has stuck with me after all of these years. And I hope, like family, Southwest Florida can forgive me for this. I've let them down. But I do believe in faith, forgiveness, and redemption. And I hope to come out of this a stronger man, a better man, for all of you. Thank you so much for being here, because it is important that I share a message of responsibility. With that said, I am always open to talking with you and taking questions.
Congressman Murrow, how do you expect to gain the trust of Southwest Floridians again and assure them that you are going to go to work for them 100%?
That's what I'm doing here tonight. I'm owning up to my actions. I am taking responsibility, and I'm living it very publicly. I'm being held accountable for the decisions that I made in my life, and I have found treatment, and I am working on treatment. And like anything in life, I have to rebuild that trust, and I fully understand that, and I will do that. I have to rebuild the trust with Southwest Florida, with the constituents, with this home that I love so much and means so much to me. And I also need to do it for my family, for my wife, and for my son.
Where is, I mean, we have to ask, we
Sure.
haven't seen your wife.
Sure,
Why
sure.
hasn't she been with you in court or with you tonight? I know this is
Sure.
hard for her, but Where is she, and why not?
My wife is at home with my son tonight, and I will tell you that there's nothing more than I want right now to go home and hug my wife and my little guy, and I'm going to be doing that very soon.
Are you going to rehab
sure.
from there?
Yes. So with respect to my wife, she has been incredible. My wife is my rock, and she has been so supportive through this. And I came to her and I told her what had happened. And she said, I married you to be with you and stick with you in good times and bad. And she has been incredible. I do have trust to rebuild, and I have to mend her heart, which I've broken. And I've broken a lot of hearts. And I need to regain that trust and rebuild our relationship. But she has stuck with me and will continue to stick with me. And I'm just so proud to have my wife. She is my rock through all of this. With regards to treatment, I will be going in to treatment. And I'm going to start with intensive inpatient treatment. That's what's next for me. I have already begun the process. Look, sometimes in life you need a wake-up call. This is my wake-up call. I've been struggling with this, but I have had my wake-up call, and I now know what I need. I need to take responsibility, own up to the decisions that I've made, and move forward. And I'm doing just that. I'm getting the help I need. And from there, I will work on rebuilding the trust that I have with Southwest Florida. And I hate the word constituents. What this is about is my friends, my family, and my neighbors, and each and every one of them.
You were on the floor voting the day that the bust happened. You were on the floor voting.
Once again, with resignation, I'm taking a leave of absence. I'm taking a leave of absence.
Who will you get to represent us in the time of your leave of absence?
Sure. I will be taking a leave of absence in all offices. This team that I have in Washington and here in Southwest Florida will be working every single day like they have been for this past year for you. They're working hard. They're here to serve the people, and they will continue to do so. I will take a leave of absence, taking the responsibility that I need to own up to, what I need to do, get well, and come out of this as a better man. I'm struggling with this disease, but I can overcome it. And I know that I can be a role model for millions of people struggling with this.
If you want to be in people's trust, why didn't you just close this sooner?
Sure. I knew that in keeping with everything that I've done, I believe in accountability and I believe in transparency. That's what I'm doing here tonight. And I knew that this day would come. I knew it would come. I had to be accountable and responsible and open with my wife and all of my family. I'm here tonight being open and accountable with the people of Southwest Florida and, quite frankly, the country. With the delay, that was just a matter of council. They came to a resolution, and here we are tonight.
You were on the floor voting the day that the bust happened. You were on the floor voting. How do you expect to be a qualified lawmaker if you were pregnant by yourself?
I've been dealing with this off and on for years. The most important thing is to rely on professionals. That's what professionals do. They guide you through treatment. Look, again, in a moment of just a personal thing to share, I grew up with a mom who struggled with alcoholism. It is not an easy thing to deal with. Now, I don't want my son to go through that. What you do in anything in life, you go to people who you know you can put your life in their hands to get the proper treatment and help that you need. And the first thing that I need to do tonight is go to begin to mend that trust and relationship with my wife, who is with me, will continue to stand with me, who I love, who is my rock. I'm going to hug my little guy, even if he's asleep tonight. And I'm going to work to do everything I can to be strong, to come out as a better man, serving Southwest Florida, serving our country, and doing what's right for my health, my recovery, and our family here in Southwest Florida.
Thank you. You voted to drug test people who have food stamps.
All right, once again, you were just listening live to Congressman Trey Radel speaking tonight about the charge for cocaine possession. He was asked where his wife was tonight. I know that's been a big question on the minds of many, whether his wife would accompany him to this conference tonight. Amy was not in attendance. When asked about that, Trey simply said that she was at home with his son. He referenced her as his rock for several times throughout this and said that she had remained supportive to him. Four Corners' Patrick Nolan is on site there. Let's join Patrick now for more thoughts on this. Patrick, what do you think?
Well, the congressman just walked out of the office here, and then the media streaming behind him. He didn't really answer that many questions, and he had some really lengthy answers to some of the questions. He really kept his comments based on emotion rather than facts, so a lot of questions about exactly what went on before the bust, what he may have been doing involving substance abuse, to which he's alluded, remain unanswered tonight. But as you heard, he did say that he's taking a leave of absence, but he also used the phrase, "I will continue to serve Southwest Florida." So if you read between the lines here, it's really saying that he's not going to give up the office or resign right now, but taking a leave of absence and donating his salary to a charity while he is out of the job. He says his team will take care of constituents' concerns in Southwest Florida. The congressman was emotional at times, particularly when he talked about his family. He began the press conference by saying he was sorry, again using some of the phraseology we've heard from him before. He wants to be a better man for his family. He referenced his wife, former Fox 4 News anchor Amy Wegman, their son who's about to turn 2 years old. Also his in-laws. Gerd Wegman is a very popular realtor in Southwest Florida, does a lot of work in Cape Coral, and his mother-in-law, Kathy Wegman, saying that he wanted to be a better man for them. He also said that he believed in faith, forgiveness, and redemption. So once again, just reaching out to constituents, trying to get this idea from them that perhaps if you forgive me, I can continue to serve. He says that he hopes to be a positive role model for millions of others who are dealing with the disease of alcoholism, and once again asking for prayers in his recovery and for his family. He also talks about growing up in the public eye in the sense that he was a reporter and anchor for Wink TV over the past decade or so as he moved into a radio slot and then into the congressional seat. And he also referenced something which is really extraordinary, and that is the death of his mom. He said that she was an alcoholic, and in fact she died, and this was reported in the news press after it happened, at his wedding. When he and Amy Wegman got married, his mother actually choked to death at the reception. It was a horrifying scene for everybody there, and then it was reported in the media because he and his wife are such public figures. It was a very dark time in that family's history. So he referenced that, talking about, in his words, his mom's tragic death, and saying that she was an alcoholic. He has struggled with this for years, although he didn't specifically say how long, and he also said he doesn't want his son, his toddler son, to go through what he's been going through. He says he wants to rebuild the trust, and perhaps when he got most emotional is when he did talk about his wife, Amy, saying, as Emily referenced, that she is his rock, that she has been incredible. He did not say exactly when he told her about this drug bust, and that is an unanswered question. Very unclear about that, but he did say that when he told her, she said that I vowed to stand behind you in good times and in bad. Clearly, this is one of the worst times for this relationship and certainly for his career, and he said she will continue to stand by him. He describes this as a wake-up call, and once again, his reassurance for constituents is that the team that he has in place in his office will continue to work for them. The thing is that his team members, no matter how high level they are, cannot cast votes on his behalf. Only members of the House can do that, and the congressman has missed about 4 votes just this week now that we're realizing that he's been in treatment. So once again, Congressman Murrow probably spending, I would say, less than 30 minutes answering questions. He did have some lengthy answers to some of the questions, which cut off reporters' options to ask him about more specifics in this case, and he was always so very unclear about when he might answer any more questions from constituents, alluding to the fact again that he will be on a leave of absence, presumably inaccessible, and once again says he won't be taking his salary in that time. But the bottom line, if you have an opinion on whether he should stay or go, is that he says he wants to continue to serve Southwest Florida. Emily?
All right, thank you, Patrick. A lot of questions answered tonight. Still some remain. We want to know, what questions do you have left for Congressman Radel? Fox 4 wants to go to work on behalf of you, and we want to get your questions answered. So please let us know. But if you go to our website here, you can hit our viewers' voice line. You can also call us 206-FOX-4. Let us know what questions you still have. We're going to update you all the latest about Trey Radel's recent speech that he just gave, everything Patrick just mentioned as well. We're going to mention that all on our website so you can read about that, and we continue to update that throughout the evening. Much more to come in this broadcast. We will be right back after a quick break.
More news coming up in a moment. First, a quick check of the weather. Captain Gene Becker on the Fort Myers Princess, always capturing a good sunset photo, looking toward the Sanibel Lighthouse. You can see the clouds that were in place today, and they actually did contain a few showers. You can see the remnants of a few of those showers on Storm Patrol Viper, not necessarily in southwest Florida, although we did have some on our side of the state. Late morning, early afternoon, showers that were deep inland in Collier County, now making their way toward the other coast. Now, we are going to start with some patchy fog again tomorrow. This humidity isn't going to break anytime soon. 69 degrees at 8 a.m., 81 degrees at noon, 84 degrees at 5 o'clock. By tomorrow afternoon, we are going to have some scattered showers developing in southwest Florida, kind of like we did today. A chance for rain officially about 30 to 40%. Here's Storm Patrol Viper showing us the computer models over the next 48 hours. We'll have that easterly wind again tomorrow. That easterly wind bringing in moisture from the other side of the state. First thing in the morning, mainly dry. Then as a sea breeze tries to develop on our side of the state, we're likely to have a few showers pop up. Granted, they're going to be isolated to scattered. Chance for showers in our forecast again on Friday. Cooler and drier by the later portion of the weekend. Here's your Power of 4 zone forecast. Starting with the inland zones, 84 to 87 degrees. Patchy fog first thing in the morning, then scattered showers once we get past 1, 2 o'clock for Lehigh, LaBelle, Palmdale, Lakeport. Harbor zones, 83 to 85. Partly cloudy skies for you. Isolated showers for Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, Englewood, Rotunda. Coastal zones, 84 to 86. Partly cloudy skies with afternoon showers. That includes the Cape, Bonita Springs, and Estero. Beaches, you're going to be the coolest spot, 80 to 83 with partly sunny skies. Showers a little more isolated on the beaches, which will be the driest spot tomorrow. East to northeasterly winds before a sea breeze kicks in, and we'll have a light chop on the bay and in the waters. Some afternoon showers Friday or Thursday and Friday. Then stray showers in your forecast on Saturday. That's mainly going to come late in the day as a cool front approaches. Here comes the cooler air. It's going to be here Sunday and Monday. Matter of fact, our morning temperatures down to the 50s by Monday morning. That's a look at your Storm Patrol forecast.
You just heard Congressman Trey Radel speaking at his Cape Coral office, addressing the media and then briefly answering questions following that. We are joined for a recap of that now with Four Corners' Patrick Nolan and Kelly Stegeman, who remain at the Congressman's Cape Coral office. Patrick, Kelly?
And the congressman just left the office moments ago. Kelly, you were inside, so you're able to see up close. And sometimes television really doesn't give the full picture of what was going on with his face, his body language. I think a lot of people would like to know that.
Well, I think for those of you who've been watching, you could hear the chaos inside of the room. But for those few seconds when he walked in, nobody was saying a word. Everybody just waited for those first two words that he was going to say. And you didn't know what it was going to be. And he came out right away with "I'm sorry." So, you know, we weren't really sure the tone that he was going to take, if this was going to be something where we really saw his heart and what he was thinking, and I feel like he was very open and honest with everybody today.
It was really short on details and facts, though. He talked a lot about emotion and the pain that he's caused and the hearts that he's broken in his own family and others, but he really didn't talk to things that I think a lot of constituents have been asking us at Four in Your Corner, which is, if you have been abusing substances, some of them illegal, how long has this been going on? Since you've been serving us in Congress, what's the story with that? And you asked some pretty direct questions, and you got some rather esoteric general answers, certainly emotional, but kind of short when it came to information.
Right, there wasn't a lot of information, but I think it is important to note that he did announce he is going into rehab after this. We don't know how long it's going to be, but he also mentioned something very interesting about his salary. He said while he is taking a leave of absence, that he's going to be donating his salary to charity. And he did say, for those of you who are still needing to get a hold of him, still needing to get a hold of his office in Southwest Florida, he said there will still be those avenues to do just that.
And we also know that this is now a national story. Right. There is a lot of pressure, and the spotlight is on all of Southwest Florida, as well as the man who was elected to represent it. But there has been so much talk about his wife. And typically in these Washington scandals, whether it's Wienergate or whatever, you see the wife there as the husband addresses this. We didn't see that tonight from Amy Wegman.
We didn't see her there, but he definitely talked a lot about her. So let's hear what he had to say about his wife, Amy.
With respect to my wife, she has been incredible. My wife is my rock, and she has been so supportive through this. And I came to her and I told her what had happened, and she said, "I married you to be with you and stick with you in good times and bad." And she has been incredible. I do have trust to rebuild, and I have to mend her heart, which I've broken.
And he also talked a lot about his son. You know, I think he's worried too about what his son is going to think a little bit later on. And of course, we will be thinking of him as he goes into rehab and what's to come.
All right, Kelly, and if you have any questions for the Congressman, you can always contact us on fox4now.com. We will do the best to run down some answers for you. Reporting live on behalf of Kelly Stegeman and all the team here at Congressman Radal's Cape Coral office, Patrick Nolan, Fox 4 in your corner.
All right, thank you, Patrick and Kelly. Once again, please let us know what questions you have left. We're also going to update the very latest on fox4now.com. Stick with us. Fox 4 News at 11 is next.